You are in the rant stream where I rant about whatever my $10 a month plus patrons want me to rant about on Patreon. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one is for Appalled, who says, rant about the difference between Arthouse and Pretentious and how the line is crossed. What makes a show smart, but not too up its own ass? How do you have a dialogue-heavy show without being boring and expository? It's interesting. I guess those are all different questions, really. But, so, Arthouse is what I would describe as like stuff where the immediate meaning is not clearly stated like in the text, you know, where there's elements of it that are open to interpretation, by which I mean like you can't explain it in a clear-cut terms with language, you know, like you could explain literally what happens but not what it means or why it happened necessarily, even if you as a viewer have an understanding of those things, or you think you know what the movie is saying, or you have a feeling of what the movie is saying, you know, even if you couldn't put it into words. So that's what I would consider Arthouse. Pretentious is something that is pretending to be something that it is not. And so I think that it's possible to, you know, if you look at Arthouse films and what you take away from them is that they look cool. And so you try to make a film that looks cool, and you tell people that it's, you know, comparable to those other movies, and then people who can look at those movies and like parse the symbolism and you know, theming and like what they were actually going for and compare it to your movie and say, well, like, where is that present in this, you know, that is where you come to feel that something's pretentious, that it is attempting to be more than it is. It's trying to say, it thinks it's saying something interesting, but it's really not, you know? And I don't think that it's easy to call a work of art pretentious. Like, we tend to do it, but, like, you know, the pretension has to be on the part of the creators, that they are, you know, they think they are better than they are, essentially, or are pretending to be better than they are. I guess it's more of a gut reaction kind of thing, a gut feeling, but I definitely don't think it's that helpful to even talk about the pretentiousness of a work at all, unless it's like really palpable, you know, like when I think about Dream Theater, I think about, like, it's not the fact that they play like intense prog music with like all these different change-ups and stuff. I love lots of music that sounds like them, and I even like some of their music, but like it's just the arrogance that is so evident not only in like their interviews but also in just the songwriting itself, you know, the idea that it seems that their songs seem to have about what it means to be a great song, you know, is pretentious. So anyway, what makes a show smart but not too up its own ass? I mean, ultimately being enjoyable. I think that you can have, you know, lots of interesting things to say, but it's kind of like, what are you, an encyclopedia? You know, if you can't make the information palatable and interesting, you don't have a show. You don't have entertainment. Like, you know, it's, if I really want to know all this deep stuff that you know about, I can go read a book on it. You have to translate that into something experientially interesting, you know? So, like, yeah, I think, or you know, or at least posit ideas that I wouldn't have thought of, you know, without, you know, like your take on material that you're commenting on.